What would she... Oh my god. I have... Every time I've tried to flirt with her before now, I have failed. I've picked something she didn't like, chat. She is very particular. She wants to be wooed. And I'm trying to figure out what is the best option for that. Because we've obviously done something correct here. Guys, look at me! I'm so curvy! Hey, Tangerine. The symbolic gestures of the... Yeah, would you flirt with a man who talked like that? Of the nobility remain a mystery to me, but there's one thing I know for certain. I want to grow closer to you. A second later, an invisible force envelops you in a swirling torrent of emotions. Your heart skips every other beat, in time with the Lady Navigator's breathing. This is unhealthy. I'm having a heart attack. Get help. When Cassia's power recedes, the austere reserve on her face is replaced for a first time by passion. In her eyes, the curve of her lips, the slight tilt of her head. With a small nod and a smile on reddened lips, she holds out her hand, pale and trembling. Draw back. Squeeze the hand. Cover her hand with your own. Kiss her hand. I did not dare hope. Oh my gosh. Yo, this freaking... She's so particular. Kiss the hand, cover the hand, or hold the hand. Or run away from the hand. So steamy for Wednesday? Yeah, hand holding. So steamy. Such steamy hand holding, Shinjin. Oh my gosh. Which one of you degenerates voted hand holding for Wednesday? I would go with one or two here, but then again, I'm single. I thought this was a PG stream. Tenderly squeeze her outstretched hand. At last, we have become a little bit closer. What was that 180 degree? Woo! When Cassia's cold, warm hand... Wait. Oh, when Cassia's cold hand warms in yours, she awkwardly retracts to it, trying not to prick you with her sharp claws. In that case, Lord Captain, what I mean to say is, your servants have done marvelously in their efforts to adopt these chambers to my needs and tastes. A meek smile touches her pale lips. If I may, I would like to retire after an arduous day, and you... We shall meet each other tomorrow. I don't know if I just screwed up or not. That was so abrupt. She's like, hey, finger guns, thanks for the books. Public hand holding, what is this, 1852, right? There should be an option 5, hold her hand while saying you're now field trip buddies. Field trip buddies. Colony Dargonis has begun a new stage of development. Lord Captain, we've received a report from Dargonis. Some common folk from the ruined Scipione 84249 have succumbed to the heresy of defiance. Forming into Injun Vandal gangs, they now ride among the wasteland of the wasteland adapted cleaning Goliaths. They have declared themselves outside the law, raiding our hive's outskirts only to escape retribution in the toxic waste. Many of them did not want to obey you more than equitable decision to send them to the restoration site of Scipione, and thus they have fled the labor settlements committing the heresy of disobedience. Rumor has it that the Brigadier clan in charge of the debris removal in the ruins of Scipione keep in contact. We could pass on your words to the renegades via the Brigadiers, or force them to disclose the locations of the rebels' nomadic camps. How did they survive in the wastelands, and why did they decline my rule? This is a rather uncomfortable way of life, your lordship. They must always be wary of acid rain and hurricanes, moving a decent distance from the hives if they do not plan on raiding at that moment. They get their food from the abandoned outposts, paying for it with the lives of those killed by autonomous security systems. Water and promethium are rationed very strictly. They live by marauding, an occasional hunt, and plundering, sometimes their own kin and sometimes the outskirts of the hives. They are a tribe of degenerates and, oh, they handhold too, and barbarians that is rapidly developing by own clan culture. The civilized residents of the hives shoot the scum any chance they get. What is this Brigadier clan? This is a union of workers and the technomats that have been working on the lower levels of Scipione. Small-scale bosses of the watches and the shifts, useful common folk who have proved their worth with diligent labor and valuable knowledge. Of course, they stand much lower than the esteemed trader, let alone the aristocrats, but the common folk heed their kin, and the brigadiers have both the authority and the ability to manage them. The Scipiones keep to themselves, but the brigadiers have not shown any signs of disloyalty. They were the first to volunteer to return to the ruins of Scipione's 84249 and set up the debris removal project. They are certainly useful and are accustomed to praising the Emperor through their labor. Moreover, their grief at the loss of their home and their resilience with which they have accepted it made them to appear like heroes and martyrs in the eyes of other commoners. I wish to hear what my advisors have to say. If the engine vandals have managed to tame the ancient machine spirits, then that means that there are technomats or even tech priests among their ranks. That renders them negotiable. It would be efficient to utilize such renegades instead of disposing of them. A promise of reward for every piece of technology found in the wastelands of Dargonis and returned back to Dynasty will ensure their obedience and tractability. Groen says, hey Muck, watched your Baldur's Gate 3 review after I got the game, and boy, I'm massively struggling with combat. Had to swap down to exploration difficulty or whatever you call it to actually enjoy it. Am I missing something, or does the game require min-maxing to not die every single fight? No, I don't think it does. Groen, if you want, my entire playthrough, 2 playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3 is on the Mukluk Plays channel. If you want to watch, like, just, you know, skim through the footage of the first few episodes to see how I do the fights. Because without seeing what you're doing, I can't really tell you what's going wrong. I was playing on the highest difficulty, which, you know, I think since then they came out with the honor mode, but I was playing with the highest difficulty before then. And although I was, you know, making my character as strong as I possibly could, I don't know that I was min-maxing them to the maximum. So yeah, without seeing what you're doing, like, I don't know, like, you know, Flute Girl who made the Charisma Rogue so long ago, I don't know if you've done something crazy like that. Without seeing your characters, I'm not sure what you did. Continue. If you wish to exterminate them, Elan Talk, do not waste your time on hunting them down. Instead, deceive them into defeating each other with a prize, a weapon, or a trophy that they can fight for. After the Monkey are finished slicing each other up for the right to obtain it, your warriors shall finish the deed. This tactic proves itself to be very useful against your kind. Oh my god. The aristocrats of Dargonis despise them, but they are secretly afraid of them, correct? Renegades that can invoke such fear. I wonder if I had exiles like this on my home, would they have curbed the ambitions of my brothers and sisters? Would they have supported me in case of conflict? Oh, I'm scheming and conspiring right now, am I not? Bravo, Lady Cassia. Do not be ashamed of the unique abilities bestowed upon you by your heritage. They are your birthright. We shall follow your let's advice. Let us spread rumors about certain valuables in the possessions of the Vandals, and when they are done fighting amongst themselves, you shall conduct a raid and finish them off. It would be strange to teach you the methods we employ to fight against you. A rumor about a heavy weapon shipment getting lost somewhere between two hives has been spread among the Engine Vandals clans. A fight for the 7 armored trucks has broken out in the wastelands, rumored to have cargo that would provide enough firepower to break through the defenses of any hive. When the depleted winners had finally cut open the truck's lining, the only thing waiting for them was a squad of enforcers, enraged by 3 cycles of sitting in tight, dark spaces. The tribe's best warriors died in the slaughter. The survivors were taken in by the Brigadier clan. More workers are always needed for rubble removal. It will be years before the Engine Vandals' numbers replenish and they can pose the threat once again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Genetic Mercy. Gives you people, decree on diligence, minus complacency, people, efficiency. Doctrine of rationality, it's efficiency. Profits for water. Granting the right to unite into guilds that will cause an explosive growth of industry will turn the lead into will in turn lead to the dehydration of the planet's surface. Replenishing. It's like we keep getting more grenades. Block Season of Wars. Okay. This one gives boots. Imperial Navy, security, Season of Wars. Player character gains the Bloody Underhive Leader. All allies gain melee damage and 20% boost to attacks opportunities. This is interesting. Replenishing grenades? I'm assuming that means that they just keep coming back. Let's try that. Alright, Vebos. Lord Captain, disturbing report has come from the quarries of Phoebos 6. The slave laborers have lost their minds. They forget how to use their tools, they huddle together and continue to stare aimlessly into space, and even under the lashes of whips, ruining the mining deadlines. Some people get obsessed with using their nails to claw out the blasphemous symbols on the tools, on machines, and even on their own bodies. The most mad have painted the walls of several mines from floor to ceiling with the symbols that have gone off the deep into the mining tunnels. None of them could be found. The wardens consider it a performance to divert attention away from the escapees and an impending rebellion. What are these symbols being scratched out by the slaves? It's hard to give these drawings any sort of intelligible definition, unnaturally round circles connected by lines. These lines are interrupted by a group of dots. The patterns can sometimes follow some sort of logic and can sometimes be unique. I can provide pics of them. After examining a pic, you realize the symbols are connected through a strange logical sequence. Let's see. Hold on, looking over chat again. I rarely use consumable items. That might be the start. I play very vanilla, barely any comboing. My problem with consumable items and comboing is that I simply do not have intuitive understanding of the game yet. It's one of those people who hoard consumables in every RPG I play. I don't think you have to use many consumables, especially if you're not playing on, like, Tactician mode. Like, everything still feels overall confusing as it's normal. It doesn't get better over time. I mean, I do think that you do learn the game better over time, because, you know, by the end of it, I had, like, 50 different skills, but, you know, at the beginning, you have just, like, a few. But as far as, like, how you're comboing, when you say comboing, I'm not even sure what you mean by comboing. Like, you know, oil plus fire? Like that? Or, like, water plus electric? Like, there's certain things that can go together, but there's not like a combo system like in Guild Wars 2, for example. Again, just because I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what you're doing that could be considered to be wrong. I heard in your review you could enlarge a bear and eat them at an enemy. Yeah, so someone figured out that if you drop from a high place, the distance you drop is multiplied by your character's size, and that determines how much damage it does to the person on the ground. So someone found out if you stack a bunch of boxes and someone gets on top and shapeshifts into a bear and then jumps off the boxes onto a boss, you can one-shot the boss. That's just something one guy figured out, which is insane. I never figured that out. I mean, that's more, I would say that's like a
come on and slam and
clever
welcome to
use
Japan,
of game
kids.
mechanics.
It's time for tentacles.
Clever use of game mechanics. Hey, Mug Chad. Hey, Fox and Ad. How you doing? After examining the pic, you realize that the symbols are connected through a strange logical sequence. What do... well, hang on a sec. We should investigate this anomaly. I feel something is wrong here. I will immediately pass your orders to Phoebos 6. Sadly, there were not many labor camp wardens who possessed some sort of learned wisdom. Most of the strange prisoners have been simply beaten to death during the interrogations. But one of the wardens who possessed a gift for the artistic did notice something. The drawing of the prisoners have been too systematic. They could not simply be gibberish. The sets of repeating elements of the dashes and dots are far too similar. But if indeed it was a secret language, then judging by its complexity and the impossibility of decoding it, the language was definitely not created by a convict. Okay. Let's see. Dreamless. The convicts will be of much greater use if they are kept from sleeping by employing a small augmentation. Oh my god. There's a rumor that there are several warp guides among the convicts, unsanctioned semblances of navigators. It may be worth it to hunt them down and press them into service. +2 security. Ergonomics. Absolute efficiency. The mining complexes are getting crowded. Individual pods and tranquilizers for the convicts could solve the problem. Blocks Envirodome. Need mechanisms and adamantine. Yeah, we'll get that for now. Trophies, Wasteland Twister. Which was the one that gave me the extra ship? Do I have that? Did it finish? I think that's that one. Okay. Let's see. I'll have to give your playthrough review then, see how you handle it. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I'm missing. Thanks a bunch for your legend helping as always. You're very welcome. But yeah, I would say, you know, just skim through it, look for combats, see what I'm doing, and see if there's anything obviously different from yours. If we're doing the same thing in combat, it could be how the character is built. I don't think I was doing any crazy min-maxing. It's just like on a fighter character, I was putting a lot of points into strength. On an archer, I was putting a lot of points into dex. You know, just the normal stat to build for that character. But yeah. Okay. Visit. I don't think I've checked this one out yet. Not explored. Okay, yeah, we have not been here. Scan. Nothing. Bones in the desert. After analyzing the auger data, the officers were surprised to discover that the planet was once covered with oceans. Long ago, an unknown cataclysm caused the seas to dry out and turn the world into a lifeless desert. The most amazing discovery of all was the skeletal remains of colossal oceanic organisms, some large enough to be seen from orbit. What? Life is fragile, even for creatures this enormous. Okay. $50 XP. Wow. It's all solar system. There are sects in the Imperial cult whose adherents believe transgressors will be punished after death on burning planets. This world could serve as one such purgatory. Creepy. Alright, nothing crazy in this area, apparently. Okay. Captain, our astropaths received a message from Achilles Scalander on Dargonas. He closely studied the data from the incursion on Phobos 6, including the mention of the Xenos leaders. He promised to direct the efforts of his aides to identify the enemies of humanity so their location can be determined. Master Scalander is also reporting that Drukhari are getting ready for more attacks on your territory. Information from his aides continues to arrive, and Achilles will personally report to you the moment the target for the upcoming raid becomes clear. The Drukhari excel at catching their opponents off guard, and there will be little time to mount a response. According to Master Scalander, your personal participation in the defense will be the best strategy given the circumstances. So the target for the raid has not become clear. Blades in the Void. Okay, undetermined. Alright. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Ravor. The crew is grumbling again, but they have a right reason this time. Our analytics systems have actually gone bonkers. The Red Robes, the tech priests, are blaming the anger of the machine spirits. Allegedly, this is how they profess their displeasure at the crew not being worshipful. We've largely managed to stabilize the output of the augurs and auspices throughout the ship, but you should know there is something awfully sketchy about the machines these days. I can confirm, Lord Captain, the vessel's analytics systems were behaving incorrectly for a time. The cogitators could not produce statistical data and displayed meaningless numeric combinations instead. The augurs failed to correctly analyze matter and mistook solids for liquids and vice versa. Thanks to the tech priest's efforts, standard operation of the ship's mechanisms has been restored. I'm still registering sporadic reports of similar malfunctions, but we should now be able to handle them. Hi, Brands. How you doing? Google says you can uncheck the box below the list of quests that can remove all quests that are completed. Oh, that would be good. Oh, that's way better. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hit show new routes. Ah, I needed to do that. All right, where am I? Starship routes. Somebody noticed me. I see you. Scan. Loot. The augurs have detected wreckage in the void ship's vicinity, but the exact nature of the wreckage remains unclear. Look for the source of the... pick up pieces of the wreckage first. Some of the wreckage is made out of plasteel, the rest unknown material. Studying the fragments further is nigh impossible due to severe corrosive damage. The non-metallic fragments also bear burn marks. Look for the source of the wreckage. The augur crew reports it has registered no evidence of a disaster that could have produced such debris. Continue. Scan. Plasteel. I do not have any more extractiums. There's plasteel I need the least right now anyway. The crew has discovered a hidden valley littered with thousands of animal skeletons. Augur data suggests it's some kind of sleeping gas vents here. It's likely the animals either don't realize that they are headed for a deadly trap or even come here to die on purpose. Medicae, study the gas. Fail. Attempts to study the gas resulted in numerous cases of poisoning. Thankfully, none fatal. Nice. Good job. Jack says, do I need to play any other Warhammer games to enjoy this one? I just saw the Outcat Games made this one and I really like PWOTR. Jack, no, you do not. However, if you have never, if you don't know anything about the Warhammer universe, there is some excellent YouTube videos that give like a brief rundown of like how the universe operates. that, you know, can, I think, in my opinion, increase your enjoyment of how the universe is. There are lots of tooltips of things where, you know, you don't know what something is, but, you know, it's highlighted and you can just mouse over it and read, and it'll be like, oh, this is referring to such and such planet, or whatever. Chart system. Okay, visit. Scan planet. Ruins. Oh, it's a mission. Okay, let's do it. I'm all for extensive lore, I'll keep it in mind, thanks. Sure.
So is this game like Guild Wars 2 but it's not an MMO and in a different universe also a different game?
Exactly, Tellius, you nailed it. There's actually, hold on a sec, Warhammer 40k lore video. Let's see if I can find it. There is a... Where is it? There is a really good
Still
video.
supporting your ramen addiction.
Thank you.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve 9 of the 18
okay, this guy,
half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down.
This guy, Bricky. These videos I watched to get an understanding of kind of how the Warhammer 40k universe works. They are long. I mean, each one's like an hour, but he's very good at explaining what's going on.
Space Marines are
so I strongly, if you're okay with a video of that length, there's this one, and then there's like a part 2 right there. They gave a lot of information, and since watching that, I have played like 5 different Warhammer games, but I've got a much better understanding of how the whole universe works. All right, quick save. Let's see what this is. These ruins are emitting faint psi energies, however it does not pose a direct threat for now, but I advise we do not linger here. It's a demolition option.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Let us see what I found.
The remains of unknown structures are haphazardly strewn about the plateau. Cracked Xeno chest.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Athletics. Alright, we'll take a look at that in a second. Quick save in case something crazy happens on the other side. Does this just jump through the window?
Who thought that was a good idea?
He got injured, but he's fine. Oh my gosh, what is this?
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
This human skeleton is curled up in an unnatural position. It is inside a void suit with a hole burned right through it. Someone has carved a strange pattern on the floor. As you look at the lines, a fog descends on your mind. Uncover the pattern. A single look at the strange pattern is enough to send your mind reeling. Quick save. Activate the pedestal. Lore warp. Ow!
Setback.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Redirect the energy beam. What the heck? Warp apparition. Oh, wait. Okay, are we trying to draw these?